Discovered. My sister's shocking betrayal of my house fund then. My parents chose her over me. Emma Johnson stared at the glowing screen before her, pulse racing as her fingers clutched the mouse. The spreadsheet was simple. Rows of numbers that told the story of her sacrifices, the dreams she shelved, and the house she envisioned for her aging parents. But beneath those numbers an ugly truth lurked. There, in plain sight, was Claire's name next to unauthorized transactions, substantial amounts siphoned from their joint account. No way, this can't be real, Emma murmured, eyes narrowing, disbelief morphing into a tightening coil of dread. She felt as if the walls of her quiet suburban world were crumbling, leaving her exposed in an unforgiving light. For years, Emma had been the dependable daughter, working diligently as a pharmacy technician, saving every cent she could. Every dollar attributed to the house fund bore the weight of her unfulfilled dreams of becoming an architect. The kind of stable, love-filled home she wanted for her parents was supposed to be a beacon of gratitude, a repayment of sorts for their years of sacrifice, only to discover it was all unraveling in front of her. As she pressed on, calculating the total losses Claire had inflicted, a morbid kind of anger flared within her. How could her sister, who had always floated through life, choose art and adventure over family? It felt criminal. Emma's heart pounded in her chest as she conceptualized the confrontation ahead. Trust was an illusion. Her parents would be on Claire's side, she knew it. They always celebrated Claire's passion, while dismissing Emma's aspirations as mere chores. You can always try again, Emma. Claire deserves this, they would say, voices echoing from years of support that now morphed into a backhanded scorn. Her stomach twisted, a wave of nausea washing over her. How was support supposed to feel undermining? Before continuing, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. When she confronted Claire, the eruption of their shared upbringing came crashing down on her with kaleidoscopic fury. How could her sister be so reckless, so selfish? You think this is just about you? Emma shouted, her throat dry and tight. The vibrancy in Claire's eyes dulled into an unsettling defiance, while her parents ambled in to defend Claire's flippancy. It was as if the very foundation of familial loyalty crumbled before Emma as the words pierced her heart. Claire's passion matters too. What about Emma's ambitions? She grit her teeth, feeling rejection sting deeper with every passing moment. And then the truth looming overhead, suffocating her. What if she never made it as an architect? Was family loyalty worth shoving her own dreams aside forever? Emboldened by her rage, she set out to reclaim a lost vision. Yet self-doubt tangled with determination. Would she truly be able to break away from the suffocating expectations? The thought of forging ahead, of seizing her aspirations, filled her with a mix of fear and exhilaration, but also a gut-wrenching realization that loyalty had its price. Somewhere in that confusion of anger and ambition, a question echoed louder than ever. Was forgiveness even possible? And if she chose to walk her own path, would it lead her to freedom or further despair? As her heart raced, revealing her internal tempest, Emma faced the swelling waves of her future, caught between ambition and obligation, unsure of which path to take. The following morning, Emma woke early, the soft sunlight streaming through her window, refusing to chase away the heavy shadows settled over her heart. She sat on the edge of her bed, determination flickering like a small flame trying to ignite more than just the embers of yesterday's pain. The confrontation with Claire weighed on her like an anchor, but it also solidified something else within her, an urge to reclaim not just her financial trust but her future. The fleeting moments of doubt were consumed by the need to pivot from being the dutiful sister into a force that advocated for her own aspirations. Over a quick breakfast of toast and coffee, she scrolled through online architecture programs, each click feeling a little more like a lifeline. As she explored potential schools, her mind collectively wrapped around how she could align her skills as a pharmacy technician with architecture. The attention to detail, the understanding of structural needs, it all began to feel interconnected. Could returning to school not just fulfill her dreams, but also provide a new layer of understanding about the home she longed to create for her parents? The scattered ideas started coalescing around a single question. What if, in pursuing her passion, she could design a home that would truly serve her family's needs? Emma's discomfort could not be denied. The fear of failure clouded her vision, but she decided to challenge it. She had always clung to a safe job, one that provided stability, yet the very definition of stability felt distorted now. The realization hit her. She had been constructing a life around others' expectations, cementing blocks of obligation around her dreams. She needed to break free, recast her narrative that had long been narrated by Claire's whims and her parents' favor. Fueled with new resolve, Emma attended her orientation at the community college that offered evening classes. As she walked, or rather pushed herself toward the architectural program, she felt apprehension mingle with excitement. The buzzing classrooms, filled with students sharing their aspirations, sparked something deep within her. Here, the world felt alive, a stark contrast to the simmering betrayal she had tasted just days prior, and this moment, she vowed to prove to herself that ambition could thrive beyond familial expectations. Engaging in conversations with classmates, Emma discovered a network of passionate constructivists. One classmate, Jenna, exuded an infectious enthusiasm about her own design projects, shining a light on Emma's concealed ambitions. They exchanged emails, making plans to collaborate on assignments. For the first time in years, Emma felt the thrill of her own identity taking shape, no longer hiding behind Claire's shadow. Yet lingering doubt still tapped at her psyche. Could she balance school, work, and the tumultuous dynamics of family? How would she confront her parents when they inevitably questioned her dedication to a profession that seemed so foreign to them? The thought turned her stomach. Their early dismissals echoed loudly. Would they indulge her this time? As she worked through her first assignment, mapping her own dream house from the ground up, every stroke of the pencil felt like a declaration of independence. She envisioned open spaces filled with love and laughter, a haven from the chaos of betrayal. But the gnawing anxiety returned, reminding her of the forthcoming conflict. Stepping out of the classroom, Emma encountered the flutter of messages from her phone. Claire's name lit up the screen, a ping that sent her pulse racing. A simple text. "Can we talk?" With a mix of curiosity and dread, Emma considered whether facing her sister was what she truly wanted. Perhaps Claire sought reconciliation, or maybe a way to further manipulate the situation. She stood at a crossroads, clutching her newfound ambition and confronting an old adversary. The question now wasn't just about their fractured relationship, but about the potential to reclaim her voice. Would she allow the past to define her future, or would she take the leap into the unknown? Emma stared at the screen, her mind a whirlwind of thoughts. The simplicity of Claire's text belied the complexity that loomed behind it. Just an invitation to talk, and yet it felt like a challenge, a beckoning into a territory she was barely equipped to navigate. She had spent years cultivating a cautious approach to Claire's whims, but was it possible to approach this moment differently? Taking a deep breath, she pushed away the growing unease and began drafting a response. Sure. When? Just as she hit send, a wave of uncertainty washed over her. What could possibly arise from this conversation? With her newfound dreams nestled in the forefront of her mind, and the echoes of their past rivalry still fresh, Emma felt both drawn and repulsed by the prospect of engagement. After a pause, Claire replied swiftly, proposing a coffee at their usual cafe. The place held many memories, some tinged with laughter, others with silence where they exchanged smiles that faded into nonverbal conflicts. The thought of stepping into that space again felt daunting. Emma decided she needed time to prepare emotionally for this meeting. Setting her phone aside, she returned to her architectural assignment. Drawing her dream house was both a liberation and a fresh source of dread. Each line she drew was intertwined with an aspiration to carve out her own identity, the identity that had been overshadowed for so long. The walls she visualized were not just physical. They were boundaries meant to protect her evolving self from the expectations that had long defined her. As days passed, Emma found herself oscillating between exhilaration and anxiety. Classes continued to challenge her, forcing her to break apart her preconceptions about design and engineering. She delved into architectural theory, her mind expanding with the profound realization that spaces could evoke emotions and foster connections. However, with each concept she learned, the shadows of her family's judgment loomed closer, tightening the collar of doubt around her neck. When the day finally arrived for her meeting with Claire, Emma prepared meticulously. She reached for a pencil and jotted down her thoughts, considerations, and most importantly, what she needed to communicate. It wasn't about winning an argument but asserting her boundaries. What if she told Claire how her actions had hurt her? How she felt like a ghost in her own life, haunted by older sister's expectations? The image of her planned house came to mind as she envisioned a sanctuary of sorts, where every room symbolized a part of her identity. At the cafe, Claire arrived early, her relaxed demeanor contrasting with Emma's tension. They exchanged pleasantries, but the air was charged with unspoken words. Emma took a moment to gather her thoughts, feeling the weight of her ambition nestle comfortingly against her heart. They sat, sipping their coffees in silence, the atmosphere suffused with 1,000 unacknowledged emotions. Finally, Emma found her voice, her hands trembling slightly as she placed them on the table. "I need to talk about what happened with the house fund." As soon as the words slipped from her lips, she sensed the shift. Claire's expression darkened, and the playful banter vanished, replaced by a steely resolve. The confrontation brewed thick and heavy, the stakes rising with each exchanged glance. Emma's mind raced, wondering if revealing her grievances would shield her aspirations or bury them deeper. Would this conversation yield clarity or further entangle her in the web of familial expectations? The moment felt poised on a knife's edge, teetering between resolution and chaos. And with that, Emma could feel the ground beneath her shift, leading her to question just how pivotal this conversation would become in her journey of self-redemption. Would facing Claire propel her towards her dreams, or would she find herself retreating back into shadow? The clock was ticking, and the further they delved into their truths, the closer she got to the heart of her fears. Emma's heart raced as she met Claire's icy gaze. The tension was palpable, a tangible weight resting on her chest. Her thoughts fluttered chaotically. Would this escalation lead to a deeper understanding or push them further apart? "Why are we still talking about this?" Claire said. Her voice steady but her eyes betrayed impatience. "It was just business. You need to realize that." The casual dismissal struck Emma like a slap. She had poured her feelings into the words she chose, yet Claire brushed them aside. In that moment, Emma felt the gravity of their history press upon her, the years of rivalry and resentment swirling in her mind like storm clouds. If this conversation was to illuminate her pathway to self-assertion, she needed to rise above the familiar instinct to fold under Claire's domineering presence. "I think it's more than just business for me," Emma replied, her voice steadier than she expected. "Touches on trust. You knew how important that fund was to me. I thought I could count on you." Claire huffed, the flicker of annoyance lighting up her features. "You're making this personal." "It was a loan, Emma. I had to make decisions that suited my needs. You should focus on your dreams rather than clinging to the past." Emma paused, struggling to rein in her emotions. This wasn't how she envisioned the conversation playing out. It felt as though she was drowning in a tide of familial loyalty and cloaked guilt. As memory surged moments of Claire's bullying disguised as sisterly advice, the overt judgment from family gatherings, Emma felt a flame ignite within. "I am focusing on my dreams," she murmured, the conviction strengthening her resolve. "But they won't happen if I'm haunted by specters of betrayal from the people I care about most." Her fingers drummed nervously on the table, echoing a surge of determination. "I need honesty, Claire. Not just for me but for us." The silence that enveloped them shifted into an armistice of sorts, allowing Emma to see her sister in a different light, not just as the years of rivalry, but as someone equally tangled in family dynamics. Claire's defenses cracked, just enough to reveal vulnerability. "Fine," Claire admitted, her voice softer now. "I didn't think it would be this hard for you. You've always seemed so confident. I thought you'd be okay dealing with it on your own." "Maybe because I've always had to be," Emma countered, feeling the shift within her. "What happened to me doesn't have to happen to you. I've been scared of losing my footing while trying to find out who I am. If you'd seen that, maybe we wouldn't be here." As Claire considered her words, Emma reflected on her own growth. She was no longer that scared girl hiding behind her sister's shadow. With every line she drew in her architectural sketches, she had been reconstructing her own self-image. This confrontation had become not merely a dialogue but a pivotal reflection of her evolution. As the conversation continued, They navigated through the complexities of their bond, each revelation peeling back the layers of misunderstanding that had built walls between them. Emma was learning that honesty didn't have to be a dagger, it could be a bridge. Eventually, the topics became threading conversations about aspirations, and Emma experienced a revealing moment. The resentment began to fade into something softer. A cautious understanding bloomed in its place. As they wrapped up their discussion, Emma felt like she was standing at a precipice, poised to take the leap. This confrontation had not only illuminated the fracture in their relationship, but also offered a chance for mending it. That glimmer of hope began to intertwine with apprehension. "Can we start fresh?" Claire asked tentatively, the question hanging in the air like the promise of new beginnings. Emma held her breath, facing an unforeseen reality. This simple question rippled into her consciousness. It was a challenge not just for Claire, but for herself. Could she accept this olive branch? And more importantly, could she trust that her sister had the capacity to change? Somewhere in the depths of her heart, Emma sensed that the answer would unfold with every subsequent choice and encounter. As they parted ways, she took a deep breath, her mind racing through the myriad of possibilities before her. What would arise from this fragile step forward? The ground still felt unsteady beneath her, and the future shimmered ahead like a mirage. Emma was not entirely free from the shadows of doubt, but she was fueled by a burgeoning flame of resolve. This conversation had become a launchpad, and what lay ahead remained a tantalizing mystery. Little did she know, Claire's decision was merely the beginning of a more profound personal reckoning, one that would demand Emma confront not only her sister's actions but her own identity within the family paradigm. Would she maintain her newfound confidence or slip back into dependence? Emma paced her apartment, the remnants of her conversation with Claire echoing in her mind like a persistent melody. The walls felt like they were closing in, her thoughts spiraling as she weighed her own desires against the familial dynamics that had dictated her life for too long. It was no longer just about reconciling with Claire. It was about forging a path that belonged solely to her. She caught a glimpse of her reflection in the window. The woman staring back felt like a stranger still buried under layers of insecurity and loyalty. She shifted, thinking of her architectural plans sprawled across the drafting table. Each sketch represented her dreams, an affirmation that she was capable of more than just being Claire's sister, more than just an extension of someone else's identity. But now, as she traced the lines of a new design, she realized she couldn't evade the confrontation she faced not just with Claire, but within herself. Putting the pencil down, she took a breath and allowed doubt to surface. What if she failed? What if her designs were flawed, her vision obscured by familial loyalty that had long dictated her worth? With resolve emerging like dawn breaking through dark skies, Emma made a decision. She needed to confront her parents, the silent players in the family dynamics that had left her feeling insignificant. Their unspoken loyalty to Claire had stifled her voice for too long. If there was to be a fresh start with Claire, it must include a reckoning with her parents about the past influences that complicated their lives. The next day, as she prepared for the conversation, her heart raced. Emma rehearsed her thoughts, pacing the small confines of her apartment. She wanted to express how she had been consistently overshadowed in their eyes, the expectations weighing on her like an anchor. She took comfort in the knowledge that this wasn't just a dialogue about Claire. It was about her burgeoning identity, a fight to be seen as fully herself. Sitting across the dining table from her parents, Emma felt the atmosphere heavy with unspoken issues. Their eyes reflected concern but also an innocent confusion. Her heart drummed a rhythm of anxiety as she began, "Mom, Dad, I need to talk to you about Claire and me. Our relationship, how it shaped me." Her mother's brow furrowed slightly, while her father's expression remained neutral, an adept mask worn from years of coexistence. "What do you mean?" her father prompted gently, curiosity evident in his tone. Taking a deep breath, Emma chose her words deliberately. "Growing up, I felt like I was always in Claire's shadow. I put my dreams on hold, thinking it was what you expected. I just want to be honest about how that made me feel, how it still affects me now." Their exchange shifted, the tension palpable. Her mother reached for her hand, an instinctive gesture of comfort, but Emma withdrew slightly, wanting to assert her independence. "I want you both to understand that my aspirations matter too. I'm stepping into a new chapter of my life, And I need your support, not comparison or expectations directed toward Claire. The silence was thick, yet full of complication. She observed her parents without wavering, hoping for understanding but bracing herself for defensiveness or denial. Would they genuinely grasp the intensity of her struggles? Finally, her father spoke, his voice deep with contemplation. Emma, we didn't realize. We thought you were thriving in your own way. Thrive? Or just survive? She countered, her voice crisp yet afraid of the deeper truths it unraveled. All I've ever wanted was for you to see me as more than an extension of my sister. A flicker of realization sparked within her parents' eyes, shadows of their own unawareness lifting. It dawned on her that in seeking to assert herself, she was also veering into uncomfortable territory for them. The idea of family loyalty was not just about her. It was something they had crafted too. Emma, her mother said, her tone softening, we never meant to make you feel inadequate. Love comes in different forms. And we didn't realize we were comparing you both. We will work to support your dreams as you carve your place. The acknowledgement stirred something within Emma, part relief, part trepidation. It didn't erase the past, nor did it guarantee unwavering support moving forward, but it hinted at a potential homecoming to a truer version of herself. As they ended the conversation, Emma felt the weight of expectation begin to lift. Yet, uncertainty loomed ahead. Could she truly step out of Claire's shadow and transform into her own person? The moment felt fragile, a beginning not yet fully realized. The prospect of stepping into her own light resonated deeply, yet Emma knew challenges lay ahead. A complex weave of family loyalty, ambition, and self-identity awaited her. The most daunting question settled in her mind like a stone. Could she finally embrace her independence, or would old patterns rise to entrap her once again? With her heart pounding anew, she dared to contemplate the limits of her growth and the depths of her commitment to preserve this newfound clarity. A part of Emma relished the newfound clarity in her family dynamics, yet another part felt the looming specter of doubt. She had set a course for independence, yet the direction still seemed unclear. With her parents claiming support, Emma wondered if they understood the magnitude of what that truly entailed, especially with Claire hanging in the balance. The next few days, Emma pushed herself into her work. Each morning she awoke earlier, her fingers itching to sketch, dive into plans that had always felt just out of reach. The excitement was intoxicating. Building designs that reflected her vision became her sanctuary from familial entanglements. She spent hours immersed in her architectural sketches, letting her imagination breathe life into her uncut dreams. But even in this refuge, the question haunted her. Was she truly free to explore her own capacity for greatness, or would whispers of what if deter her progress? Then, one evening while packing away her sketches, a crumpled envelope caught her attention at the back of her drawer. She recognized it immediately. It was the correspondence detailing the grant she had applied for months ago, an award intended to fund emerging architects who showed promise. Hope and anxiety stirred within her as she read the notice again. Congratulations! You have been selected. The words swelled with potential, yet doubt bled into her excitement. Could she manage success taking this opportunity? Would that cause further rifts with her parents or Claire? The fear of stepping onto a path of her own, of being the architect of her destiny, gnawed at her resolve. She put the letter down, grappling with the complexity unfolding within her heart. With each passing hour, the air felt thick with the pressure of making an irrevocable choice. She knew she had to confront Claire about the grant. The implications of finally advancing her career while navigating their sisterly bond loomed ahead, an obstacle she could no longer ignore. The next day, Emma asked Claire to meet at their favorite cafe. An ordinary gathering that felt charged with unspoken possibility. As she sipped her coffee, Emma's pulse quickened. She could see her sister across the room, unaware of the internal struggle raging inside. This meeting didn't just signify a professional conversation. It embodied the unpredictability of family loyalty. "Hey Emma." Claire's voice pulled her from her thoughts, and Emma plastered on a smile that felt as much a mask as it was a greeting. "What's up?" With the conversation unfolding, Emma took a breath. "Something big happened," she said, her hands trembling slightly. "I got selected for the architect grant. They're funding my new project." The flicker of surprise crossed Claire's face, quickly replaced by a supportive smile. "That's amazing. Wow, I'm so proud of you." What's your vision? As they talked, Emma felt a paradox bloom. Claire's support fueled her, but also reminded her of the shadow she was trying to break free from. Constructing her narrative felt layered with complexity, a sisterly bond pitted against her ambition. Every time she tried to frame her words around the competition that plagued their relationship, the weight of her parents' expectations returned. The warring emotions were exhausting. Listen, Emma added, tone more earnest, there's something about this that's been hard for me to talk about. I want you to know that while I value your support, I need you to understand that my aspirations aren't just a reaction to you. They exist outside of our relationship. I don't want what happened in the past to dictate how we move forward. Claire's expression flickered, the warmth in her eyes cooling ever so slightly. I get it, Em, she replied, though there was an edge to her voice. But you're not in competition with me. I thought we were on the same team. The calmness Emma sought felt elusive within their exchange. As tension coiled between them, she realized this confrontation wasn't just about asserting her own space but challenging the very foundation of their relationship. As the sun set, painted the cafe in hues of pink and orange, Emma struggled to breathe through the growing realization that for every step toward her autonomy, there would be emotional costs. How would she navigate a future where her success could threaten the dynamics with Claire and her parents, who had just begun to understand her journey? With an unsteady resolve, she knew their conversation was only the beginning, a prelude to potential conflict that could fracture familial ties further. She had taken one brave step, yet dark echoes of doubt remained, swirling with the daunting premise of betrayal and competition. Emma departed from the cafe filled with shadows of uncertainty, the letter crumpled in her pocket, a reminder of the weight she now carried. What did it mean to honor her dreams while preserving her bond with Claire, whom she loved yet feared losing? Somewhere between familial affection and personal ambition, she had to define her boundaries, but was she prepared for the fallout? As emotions tightened around her, Emma realized her journey was far from over. The time had come to face not just her sister's feelings, but the very essence of her identity. A defining moment lay ahead where her future would be clinched in the foundational acceptance of herself. In the days following their conversation at the cafe, Emma vacillated between exhilaration and dread, the crumpled grant letter a heavy reminder in her pocket. As each day passed, her sketches transformed into not only plans for buildings, but also a framework for self-discovery. Amid this, Claire's support echoed in the back of her mind, fueling her ambition while simultaneously feeding her anxiety. Work. Emma found refuge in the cacophony of her colleagues' creativity. They buzzed around her, their talent igniting a competitive spark she hadn't anticipated. Each collaboration became a subtle reminder that for every uplifting cheer from Claire was a lurking shadow of doubt. Could she truly be great without jeopardizing their bond? Her mornings blurred into the routines of endless sketches and rapid adjustments, all layered in the murky waters of fear and ambition. One evening, as she pored over blueprints illuminated by the golden light of her desk lamp, Emma's phone rang. It was Claire. Hey Emma, can we talk? Her sister sounded urgent, the welcome warmth of familiarity laced with an unexpected tension. Emma's heart raced. Was this a follow-up to their tense conversation? Sure, Emma replied, cautious yet curious. What's on your mind? We need to meet. It's about the grant, Claire said, her voice wavering slightly. The dread that had nested in Emma's stomach resurfaced. Okay, when? Now, Claire insisted. Against her better judgment, the unyielding worry in her chest propelled Emma to a small diner halfway between their homes. As she arrived, she spied Claire seated in a booth, her hands folded tightly against the table as if holding herself together. Hey, Emma said, sliding into the seat across from her sister. What's going on? Claire took a breath, her face lined with something akin to distress. Emma, I need you to hear me out. I've spoken with Mom and Dad and they're concerned. About what? Emma pressed, her heart sinking as Claire's cautious tone washed over her, laced with expectation and disappointment. They think you're moving too fast. The grant project, your designs, they fear you might lose sight of your roots, she explained, avoiding eye contact. What do they know about my work? About my vision? Emma shot back, feeling irritation rise like bile in her throat. This is my opportunity, my chance to finally step out of their shadow. I know, but it's not just that, Claire continued, her voice barely a whisper. They see it as a competition. They think this will push us apart, that the grant could change everything between us. Emma clenched her fists. It's not a competition. Not for me. She was about to unleash her frustration when something in Claire's gaze stopped her. It was a mix of fear and was it betrayal? Maybe it is to them, Claire replied, finally looking Emma in the eyes. Maybe they believe that if you flourish I will somehow dim. The implications hung between them, a heavy shroud that threatened to suffocate. Emma wanted to lash out, to tell Claire she was wrong, but a flicker of truth ignited in her mind. What do you mean they believe? The silence stretched, becoming a canyon filled with unspoken fear. I think they think I need your success to be my own, Claire admitted, her voice trembling. Emma's heart raced. Did their parents truly think such a thing? Claire, this grant is for me. My designs. My future. But, Claire interjected, vulnerability spilling from her words, what if it's not just about you? What if it creates a ripple they can't ignore? I can't lose you. I can't. As the layers of their conversation peeled back, Emma felt a pivot within herself. Claire's fear mirrored her own insecurities. The weight of family loyalty throbbed at the edges of their relationship, complicated by the scholarship's looming significance. I have to prove this to myself, Emma stated firmly, her reflection in Claire's eyes revealing a mixture of respect and apprehension. But maybe we can talk about our dreams, our paths? If we can merge our ambitions instead of feeling divided? Claire nodded slowly, a flicker of hope igniting in her expression. Yet as Emma left the diner, the shadows of doubt whispered incessantly. Would they really be able to forge a new path together? Or would the impending success fray their relationship further? The thoughts circled relentlessly like vultures at home. She found herself staring at the blank pages of her sketchbook, an unfinished project reflecting her uncertainties. Could she reignite her architectural journey while nurturing her relationship with Claire? Defining the right balance seemed daunting. The path ahead shimmered with both promise and peril, intertwining with the fates of her family. Emma understood now that her journey was not solely about her aspirations, but also about unearthing complex layers of love and trust. What awaited her in the inevitable confrontation with her parents, who might still see her as the younger sister unworthy of taking the spotlight? Would they embrace her ambition, or would she be caught in the crossfire of familial expectations once more? Emma braced herself for the revelation to come, a confrontation that could hold the key to her independence and the heart of their family dynamic. Emma awoke the next morning, her mind racing with thoughts of the night before. The weight of the conversation with Claire clung to her as persistently as the weight of her grant proposal. She felt as if her ambitions had been laid bare, exposed not only to herself but to the family that had shaped her worldview until now. That as she showered, the hot water washed over her body, but it couldn't cleanse her doubts. Perhaps Claire and their parents had a point. Perhaps they believed Emma's burgeoning success would eclipse Claire, a sprout growing wildly in a garden where they wanted everything to flourish at the same basic level. Each drop of water that went down the drain mirrored the doubts swirling in her mind. Was the path she was on worth the potential rift it could create? Determined to shake off the uncertainty, Emma spent the morning meticulously reviewing her plans. She flipped through her portfolio, channeling her anxiety into her sketches, trying to find solace in the lines and angles she had crafted with passion. Each drawing held whispers of her dreams, an architect's heart woven into every blueprint. But with every stroke, doubt crept back, seemingly stronger than before. She remembered Claire's face, how desperate and vulnerable she had looked. Emma's resolve began to form cracks, revealing a fracture between ambition and familial love. She needed clarity to understand if her paths could truly coexist. Could they both thrive together without sacrificing one another? At work, the atmosphere buzzed with creativity, yet the energy felt almost alien to her now. Colleagues joked around her, exchanging ideas and laughter, while Emma felt like an outsider in her own mind. She tried to concentrate on a discussion about a new project, sketching potential designs on a spare piece of paper, but her focus faltered. "Hey, everything okay?" Ryan, a colleague, asked, concern knitted into his brow as he leaned closer. "Honestly, I'm just dealing with some things," Emma admitted, catching herself off guard at the words coming out. She had always prided herself on keeping her frustrations locked safely away, but perhaps it was time to reach out. "Talk to me," Ryan urged gently. She hesitated, weighing the potential risk of sharing her fears. But something in Ryan's demeanor, the sincerity, the openness, encouraged her. It's just conflicting family dynamics. As Emma began to unveil her dilemma, something shifted within her. Instead of a torrent of despair, she found a budding sense of clarity in her words. Vulnerability became a strength she hadn't anticipated. Was it possible to embrace personal growth while also nurturing her sister's aspirations? By the end of her conversation with Ryan, Emma felt lighter, as if she'd shared the burden of her thoughts and in the process, illuminated parts of her landscape that had felt shadowed for so long. Let your success be a part of their story too, Ryan suggested, his words resonating deep within her. Perhaps she could carve out a niche not just for herself, but for Claire as well, intertwining their journeys rather than allowing them to clash. Later, as she drove home, pockets of inspiration filled the silence and she made a plan. She would confront her parents not with the defense of her choices, but with an invitation for dialogue. She would articulate that while she sought personal recognition, she also valued and cherished the bond she shared with Claire. Arriving home, Emma could feel her heart racing at the thought of what lay ahead. The conversation with her parents loomed over her like a gathering storm, threatening, yet electrifying. What would they say when she stepped into that room, framed by her designs and ambitions, prepared to share not just her ideas but her willingness to engage with their fears? The moment approached, and with it, an opportunity for all of them to redefine the boundaries of their relationships. As she echoed forward with determination, she recalled Ryan's phrase. Perhaps this wasn't just about her success, perhaps it was also about creating a shared vision that included Claire's journey too. With each passing moment, the tension tightened in her chest. Emma positioned herself before the family table and took a deep breath, ready to articulate the intricate dance between ambition and family, eager to unveil a plan for their collective futures. What awaited her response, especially from her parents, felt imminent and uncertain, a threshold she could not ignore. Would they embrace this new narrative, or push for the traditional roles they had long since established? With a determined heart, Emma foresaw that this conversation could forge a new connection or deepen their cracks. The time had come to face the truth. The dining room table loomed large before Emma, each polished corner invoking the weight of family history, tradition, and unspoken expectations. Her parents sat across from her, the familiar blend of worry and inquisitiveness grazing their brows. Their presence amplified the voices in her head, echoes of doubt, fear, and hope intertwining seamlessly. Was this moment the catalyst that would either elevate her ambitions or shatter the fragile familial bonds? Taking a steadying breath, Emma shifted her gaze to her mother. I want to talk about my future, about my architecture. The words spilled forth, bright and tentative, sparking the beginning of what could be a monumental shift. Her father crossed his arms, sunlight gleaming off his glasses. Your designs have always impressed us, Emma, but we also have responsibilities. Emma recalled their countless remarks about stability and assurance. She had witnessed what focus on duty had done to her parents' dreams. They had surrendered their passions for the sake of security. It dawned on her. She was crouched on the cusp of a similar fate, caught between her own desires and the pull of familial loyalty. I understand that, she interjected, fear mingling with resolve. But I want to be more than just secure. I want to strive for excellence. I've been given this opportunity, and I need your support. Her mother's brow knitted slightly, her voice laced with apprehension. What about Claire? She feels overshadowed. That name punctured Emma's burgeoning confidence. It skirted along the edges of her ambition, a constant reminder of the familial tug-of-war. I want her to thrive too. Maybe we can find a way to combine our strengths, support each other instead of competing. In that moment, clarity surged within Emma. She no longer needed to see her success as a threat to Claire, nor should she allow herself to sink beneath the weight of family expectations. Instead, she envisioned an interwoven future, where her brilliance could provide light for both herself and her sister. This was her chance to redefine the narrative, one she hoped would resonate with her family. Her father's expression softened, a flicker of understanding crossing his features, but Emma sensed their reluctance at fully embracing her vision. That's admirable, but you have to consider how this affects Claire emotionally, he said, words layered with caution. Claire deserves her dreams as much as I do. This isn't just about me, it's about both of us finding our paths. Her voice tinged with urgency as she leaned forward, the tremor of vulnerability pushing against the walls of resistance rising between them. The silence thickened, each member of the family wrapped in their thoughts. Emma's heart raced, and she couldn't shake the feeling that they were teetering on the edge of an important realization. "What do you propose?" her mother finally asked, her voice trembling with cautious hope. Emma caught her breath, strategizing in that briefest moment. "I'd like us to embrace discussions about our visions, to hold a family summit of sorts, where we can share our ambitions openly. Not to compete, but to create a shared dialogue. Perhaps even collaborate on a project that celebrates our combined journeys." The thought grounded her, offering a tangible anchor amidst the storm of anxiety within her. A wave of uncertainty washed over her family, and Emma wondered if they could fathom such a shift. Would they see it as a chance to redefine relationships, or as an abstract idea born of hopeful naivety? The tension stretched taut, thickening the air with the possibility of either reconciliation or resistance. "Are you willing to take that risk?" her father asked, clearly weighing the implications. "Yes," Emma said, conviction leading her voice to a firm crescendo. The fear of doubt that gnawed at her spirit began to dissolve beneath the promise of growth and togetherness, a promise she now ardently wished could unfold. At that moment, she realized she had crossed a threshold, one marked by profound intention. Whether or not her family was ready to embrace the change was yet unseen, but she felt emboldened. She had articulated her wishes clearly, had opened up a space for dialogue that began to ripple with potential. As the discussion continued, Emma could feel new connections sparking in the room, igniting hope in the shadows of the familial uncertainties. But just as the conversation seemed to take root, a surprising element surfaced. From the corner of her father's desk, the glint of a familiar envelope caught her eye. The words "Claire's House Fund" stood out starkly on the front, and Emma's heart sunk. Did her sister's ambitions take precedence in their eyes? The moment lingered, a wave of realization crashing through Emma, igniting within her a different kind of determination. The family was not only grappling with her ambitions, they were negotiating Claire's betrayal, and what it could mean for their future as a united front. How would she navigate this new reality, knowing now that the stakes were even higher? Emma clenched her fists, setting her resolve. The true test of familial love and ambition had just begun, and she was ready to confront whatever lay ahead. Emma stood at the precipice of transformation, caught between her burgeoning identity as an architect and the stale threads of family loyalty that had, for too long, dictated her decisions. After her heartfelt conversations with Claire and her parents, she sensed a shift, yet the road ahead remained obscured by lingering doubts. Her aspirations felt entwined with the need to forge resilience and trust outside the confines of familial expectations. Days passed as Emma honed her architectural skills, each assignment a stepping stone into her newly painted future. She poured herself into designs that resonated with her understanding of home as a sanctuary that encapsulated love, ambition, and security. With every building she sketched, she rekindled a sense of purpose. But the highs felt interspersed with the uncertainty that always seemed to loom over familial dynamics. One afternoon, as she was reviewing her portfolio, an unexpected text alert disrupted her focus. It was from Claire. "Can we meet? I have something important to discuss." Against her better judgment, Emma felt intrigue bloom beneath layers of anxiety. This meeting held potential. Was it yet another confrontation, or could it signify growth? Emma prepared herself for whatever awaited her, visualizing walls erected for her architectural designs becoming metaphorical shields for the conversation ahead. When they met at a cafe that buzzed with life, Claire seemed different. There was an edge of determination behind her eyes that Emma hadn't seen before. "Hey Emma," she began, pulling her hands from her pockets. "I needed to talk about our family and our ambitions." Sitting across the table, Emma felt the tension surge. "What's on your mind?" she asked, keeping her tone even. "I've been thinking about what you said about us needing to support one another," Claire said, her voice precise but trembling. "I recognize now how my choices affected you. I never intended to create a rift or undermine your dreams. I want us both to thrive." Emma studied her sister's face. There was a humility and openness lingering amidst the anxiety. It disarmed her. "Thank you for acknowledging that," Emma replied, her heart swelling cautiously. It felt like a moment of reconciliation, a glimmer of hope that both could spiral into their independent successes without tearing each other apart. "I want to collaborate, Claire. To explore how our skills can intertwine rather than compete." Claire's lips curled into a small smile. "I have ideas. We could create a project that showcases both our strengths, a community space that brings family and art together. I just wanted your blessing. I'm excited about this chance to do something meaningful together." The proposition hinged on unity, a healing venture that could mend what had been frayed. Emma felt the cracks in her heart begin to fill as they discussed initial concepts, no longer bound by the competitiveness that had held them hostage. This time, trust wove their visions together like intricate threads in a tapestry. A bond began to form, one that honored individuality while recognizing the strength found in collaboration. Emma left the meeting feeling lighthearted for the first time in weeks, envisioning the space that could evolve from their partnership. Together, they could construct something more significant than the sum of their ambitions, an emblem of familial love and creativity that could redefine their legacies. Returning home, she sat down with her parents to share the new venture with Claire, and how they could help create a space that combined their perspectives. She articulated bold aspirations, confident that they had the power to reshape their family's narrative. Their initial skepticism melted away as Emma showered them with enthusiasm, projecting images of vibrant communal gatherings and creative workshops, each detail lined with her passion and Claire's flair. "You both bring so much to the table, Em," her father said, finally, genuine support shining through. "This is an opportunity for us to understand your journey better and support each other in a new way." In that moment, Emma felt recognized, not just as a daughter wanting validation, but as a formidable architect designing her life's master plan. Validation flooded in, a familial embrace of her individuality combined with Claire's open acknowledgement of her insecurities. Over the following months, the project unfolded seamlessly. Their community space became a stunning fusion of architecture and art, invoking admiration from their peers and nurturing an atmosphere of warmth and connection. Emma found herself confidently sharing her designs, celebrating both moments of success and the trials that tested their resolved friendship. As opening day approached, Emma stood outside the finished project, a space teeming with laughter, vibrant hues, and the unmistakable mark of newfound collaboration. She marveled at how every brick, every splatter of paint represented, not just her growth but also the transformed bond shared with Claire. In this moment of triumph, Emma realized that she had conquered her fears of inadequacy, her talent overtly recognized by both Claire and their parents. Emma's journey thus culminated not in isolation, but as an empowered presence within her family. She had navigated the spiraling depths of betrayal, etched her identity onto every corner of her life, and constructed boundaries that honored her aspirations without disregarding the value of her familial relationships. In embracing her independence, she paired it seamlessly with collaboration. Finally, recognized for her competence and driven by her resolve, Emma felt ready to face the world. The burden of expectation began to lift, revealing newfound confidence, the mark of a woman who had learned to control her narrative instead of folding under the weight of others. In that defining moment, she shared her success story through their community space, now a living testament to the power of synergy. Emma had indeed proved herself not just as an architect of structures but an architect of relationships, demonstrating that success is sweeter when shared. Emma's transformation concluded, as she achieved a place in her world and a unique identity, solidified by the bonds of love she had nurtured alongside Claire. No longer overshadowed, she had inserted herself firmly into her own life's design, pride swelling within her without an ounce of arrogance. This was the moment when Emma Johnson became more than just Claire's little sister. She became a recognized architect of her future, emotionally liberated and exactly where she was meant to be. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive emotional stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment your reactions and theories about the ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. You need to subscribe now, as this is the moment to show your support. Don't wait even one more second to share.